It's been almost 11 months since an Omaha couple woke to a nightmare in their basement, a sewer backup that cost them thousands of dollars.
In tonight's 6 on Your Side investigation, Mike McKnight tells us you may be surprised to hear what caused the backup and who is responsible.
We would not show these to the family.
Video from the day after New Year's. But it's not a celebration cleanup that Marty and Terry Blos will remember.
There were chunks of things on the floor even. It was absolutely disgusting.
The sewer backed up into their finished basement.
Terry says he raced down to save his ukulele collection because he feared that the sewage and the humidity in this room would cause a long-term sour note for his instruments.
But much couldn't be saved, and the contaminated basement needed extensive repairs.
All the trim along every wall, and then 2 foot down they took out the drywall and the insulation.
From cleanup to remodel, the total cost to the retirees, $42,000.
Out of retirement, out of savings, and out of the equity in our home.
Right after the backup, the city sent out a crew to investigate, and they found asphalt chunks, likely from a contractor's street resurfacing, had clogged the sewer.
It took 9 months for the city to get back to us with this letter and saying that it's the fault of the company, and so it's been turned over to their insurance companies.
That's Liberty Mutual, which the couple says hasn't paid them what they need.
At least I'd like to hear from this insurance company. We're sorry for that happened. We'll get back to you. They didn't even contact us, call us, email, a letter, or anything.
So I emailed the company, which responded, Liberty Mutual doesn't publicly discuss claims and contact the claimant for the latest update. So that's what I did.
Oh my gosh, they're calling me.
Marty says an adjuster will look at their claim in the next day or so.
Finally, it looks like we might be getting somewhere, but I'm not sure I'll believe it until I've got the check in my hand.
The couple's 11-month wait on a claim process doesn't stink quite so much tonight. On Your Side, near 144th and Center, Mike McKnight, 6 News.
The Omaha Assistant City Attorney who handles claims thanked Mike for bringing to her attention the lack of communication from the contractor's insurance company, and the city will follow up to make sure the couple gets a resolution to their claim. The contractor, Old Castle Materials Group, did not return our call.